Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. And this watch is a Rolex Certified Pre-Owned Oyster Perpetual Deepsea Sea-Dweller. This is the second series, the Deepsea Sea-Dweller, the 126660. The variant in my hand was the update for 2018, and so it's the middle Deepsea between the 116 and the 136 that came out in 2022. So the timepiece is interesting in that it was the first Rolex watch to use a titanium component, the case back, but also it has a long legacy, and we may as well talk about all that. The first Rolex Submariner came out in 1953. That was the first modern format dive watch. The Sea-Dweller began as a more aggressive and technical Submariner in 1967. In time, that would become its own model line. The Deepsea Sea-Dweller arrived in 2008. The James Cameron-inspired D-Blue gradient lacquer dial came out in 2014. For 2018, we got a revision of the model, which is what I have right here. 2022, we got yet another revision of the Deepsea Sea-Dweller before in 2024, Deepsea becomes its own model line. So this is still very much a Sea-Dweller. Taking a look at the watch, 44 millimeters in 904L steel with the titanium case back. It measures 51.7 lug-to-lug. If you include the end links, the Oyster bracelets, 53.5 millimeters with a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. That's one of the dimensions that changed on the second series Deepsea Sea-Dweller, a broader end link for a set of thinner lugs and a better aesthetic. We also have a watch that's shorter from lug to lug, but I have a lot of comparative videos with the previous and subsequent models, so reference those if you want exact measurements. Now the watch wears well on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference. In fact, I'm going to peel this glove back a little bit so you can actually see my arm, but I could not wear the first generation Deepsea. This second series Deepsea, the 126660, this I can actually wear. So if your wrist is 16 centimeters circumference like mine, I guess I should put this a little bit more center on. But if your wrist is 16 centimeters circumference like mine, you're going to find this wears quite well. Big, but not so big that you can't wear it. Now, if your wrist is smaller than mine, you're going to want to go with a Sea-Dweller in 43 millimeters or a Submariner. The watch is heavy. I put it on the scale. It's one of the heaviest non-precious metal watches I've encountered, as it has a total mass of 220.45 grams, almost a half a pound. Taking a look now at the clasp, you can see just like the case, the bracelet, the Oyster style bracelet is made of 904 steel, which is a high nickel content steel, so you can expose it to seawater, for example, and no need to rinse in order to avoid oxidation. With 316L watchmaking steel, oxidation in the presence of seawater is a real threat. Not so here. The clasp is a single fold. As you can see, there's a clamshell lock, but there's also a spring-loaded lift lock system with a beak and a hook, and these two things latch together, and you actually have to lift this up, so it's a double locking action. Taking a look at the bracelet, you can see the removable links are fixed in place using screws, so you can size this up with a jeweler's screwdriver, and that we have an intermediate size link in there in case you find yourself in between sizes. We've got a full fold-out dive extension, so if you want the all-or-nothing classical flip lock, that's it. This watch also has a unique take on glide lock, where, hold this back together for a second, you now have the ability to make adjustments incrementally with a liftover rack that allows you to make these adjustments when the watch is actually on your wrist. So when it's on your wrist, you just lift this little trap door, and then you can move in or out. And you have a ton of adjustable length there. I believe it's a little bit in excess of 50 millimeters or 2 inches for those of us in the old colonies, but a lot of resilience here. You want to make sure you close this before you close this. Rolling around to the case, screw down crown, trip lock in steel. You know that because of 3 symmetrical dots. The watch is 3,900 meters water resistant. It is an ISO 6425 diver. That is the ISO for dive watch. But because it's an ISO dive watch, it will have been individually tested to in excess of its rated depth. So it would be 125% of the rated depth. So it's 3,900 meters. So this would be 4,825 in terms of the actual depth that would have been tested to before it left the factory. Taking a look at the bezel, you can see it's a 60-click ceramic cerachrom bezel insert with PVD platinum for the numerals and indices. Fully calibrated all the way around, every minute visible. Rolex Chromalite Blue Lume. We've actually got a sapphire capped bezel pearl right there. And the watch is easy to read in the dark. The timing reference I find more useful than a chronograph. The second sand is loomed. Every dive watch should have that. That's very important because you need to know if your dive timer is running in the dark. We have white gold hands and indices, and then we have a lacquer dial designed to symbolize Director James Cameron's trip from the surface to the bottom of the Challenger Deep, the deepest part of the ocean in the Mariana Trench. So from the relatively luminous upper waves where surface light penetrates down to the bottom where it is black, you have that gradient fade. And then we have the little shock of green where it says deep sea, and that is the color of Cameron's submersible. And if this were a standard deep-sea Sea-Dweller from the period, it would actually be underneath Rolex Oyster perpetual date rather than in the block at the bottom. We have this ring lock system. The crystal is over 5 millimeters thick, and it sits on this little plinth, which is a metal cylinder, and so that is a nitrogen-hardened steel cylinder. And so you've got this titanium case back, you've got this enormous sapphire crystal, and then you've got the steel cylinder between them. The idea is that this ring lock system will compress and increase its water resistance as the pressure increases. So that's important to know, and it explains why you have all of this excess text. Rolex was looking clearly to do something with this visible ring, and so Rolex loves text, and so we got more of it. Gas escape valve on the flank. So if you're a saturation diver and you're doing extreme gas dives and you're down for hours or days or weeks, you have that one big decompression in saturation diving, and as the various kinds of inert gases leave your bloodstream during the process, they also need to get out of the watch because they'll work their way in during the dive, and this little valve will open when internal pressure exceeds external by 2 to 3 bar to vent the helium and avoid blowing out the seals or the crystal. Caliber 3235 inside, now an automatic winder with a 70-hour power reserve rather than the previous 48. You can see we've got hacking seconds. We've got a quick set date. 4 hertz beat rate, 31 joules, that's 70-hour power reserve, shock resistant with a full balance bridge and a free sprung balance. It also features an overcoil hairspring, so no matter what the position of this watch relative to gravity on your wrist or on your dresser at night, it's going to keep consistent time. That hairspring's a blue oxidized niobium zirconium alloy called parachrom blue, and so this watch is water resistant, shock resistant, and anti-magnetic, and the movement is adjusted in 5 positions and COSC certified as chronometer. Rolex goes beyond that though and tests the fully cased up and assembled watch to run no worse than -2 + 2 seconds per 24 hours. Hence, it is a superlative chronometer because COSC is a bare movement test and it is -4 + 6. Finally, this watch is all Rolex. Dial, case, clasp, bracelet, movement, even things like hands. The shock protection on the movement, Paraflex, Rolex's own, even the lubricants engineered and manufactured by Rolex for its own applications. So lots to love. And if you love this watch, please reach out to Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase and pricing details. Rolex Certified Pre-Owned watches are backed and authenticated by Rolex. Should any reconditioning be necessary, it will be to a Rolex Certified standard, and any parts invested Rolex Factory Original. Should the initial retail box, paper, and accessory set still accompany the watch, it will be included with the sale. But no matter what, a Certified Pre-Owned box and paper set starts with an outer box, a leatherette travel pouch with suede lining, a warranty card that embodies the 2-year globally valid Rolex-backed warranty. Note this is not a retail warranty, but backed by Rolex and actionable at any of its authorized points of sales and service. A leatherette wallet includes the warranty terms and conditions manual. A holographic hang tag marks this as a certified pre-owned Rolex watch, and a manual details Rolex's values as a company, the certified pre-owned program, care, feeding, service, and use of your Rolex, locations of points of sales and service, and details of Rolex.com. Rolex certified pre-owned watches are backed only by Rolex.